A man was sitting on a table. She suddenly slaps a man and leaves a tissue on his table with something written on it. The man gets up and starts yelling at her saying, "Are you crazy? Can't you see properly?" But then, a man sitting next to the girl says, "Speak with respect. She's my wife." The man gets quiet and sits down. As the girl walks away with her husband, she signals the man to look at his table, but he doesn't understand. The girl and her husband go to another table and sit. Her husband gets angry and says, "Can't you see properly? Why did you slap him?" The girl replies, "It was a mistake. I didn't do it on purpose." He gets even more angry and says, "Leave this baby somewhere. He smells bad." Meanwhile, a waitress comes to the other man's table. She picks up the tissue the girl had left. The girl notices this and starts to get nervous. She watches the waitress and the tissue. Her husband asks, "What are you looking at?" The girl replies, "That man keeps staring at me. I'm just being careful." Her husband says, "I'll take care of him," and walks toward the man. Meanwhile, the girl writes "help" with her lipstick on another tissue and tries to show it to the man, but he doesn't see it. Her husband comes back after arguing with the man. Then the waitress returns to their table to take the order. The husband gives his order, but when the wife tries to order, he says she doesn't want anything. The girl stops the waitress and gives her a tissue from her bag and says, "Throw this in the dustbin." The waitress says, "As you wish," and walks away. The man from earlier sees this and follows the waitress. The girl looks at the address written on the tissue. Her husband again asks, "What are you looking at? Why did you give her that tissue?" The girl quickly changes the topic and says, "Please be quiet. The baby is hungry. Give him to me so I can feed him." Her husband hands her the baby. When she tries to breastfeed, he yells, "Are you going to do this in front of everyone? Take the baby somewhere else." So she picks up the baby and her bag and leaves. The other man follows the waitress to the kitchen area and looks in the dustbin for the tissue. The waitress sees him and says, "You're not allowed here. What are you doing?" The man says, "I need the tissue the girl gave you." She asks why. He explains, "I think that man is forcing her to stay with him. I want to help her." The waitress says, "I think the same." She finds the tissue in the bin and reads it. It says help. The man says, "We must help her." The waitress agrees and listens as he explains a plan. Meanwhile, the girl is calming her baby. The man comes to her and says, "Don't be scared. I'm here to help you." The girl replies, "How can you help me? If he sees you, he'll kill me." The man says, "Don't worry, I have a plan," and tells her everything. She returns to her husband and he asks angrily, "Why did it take so long?" She replies, "I was cleaning and feeding the baby." He says, "Fine, just shut your mouth." Then the waitress brings a police officer. She points at the man and tells everything. When he sees the police, he tells the girl, "Don't say anything, keep quiet." The officer asks the man, "Is everything okay here?" The man says, "Yes, we're happy." The officer then asks the girl, "Is there any problem?" She says, "No, everything's fine." The officer says, "I got a complaint. I need to talk to you in private." As the girl stands up, her husband whispers in her ear, "Don't say a word." She walks away with the police officer. He asks her questions, and the girl starts crying and tells him everything. The officer gets angry and walks toward the man. The man tries to run, but the other man catches him and hands him over to the police. In the end, the girl, the man, and the waitress hug each other happily. They are all relieved and thankful. Behind every silent cry is a story waiting to be heard. If this touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to help raise awareness.